It's a rolling, not a stop. Watch shit don't never stop.
Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. Today we are going to be talking about, are you a Transformer or a Decepticon? Yeah, we're going to be talking about people living behind the mask. They're not living their truth. And there's a lot of people that aren't living their truth. Most people aren't. They're always living to someone else's expectations and dreams of who they think they should be. I like to blame society a lot. That's the majority of the fault, is society, because society makes it hard for you to live in your truth and you to be accepted. They're so judgmental. God forbid you make a mistake because you're a human being, and then you're shunned and you're ashamed from society. So it kind of makes it hard to live in your truth when society is shunning. But the thing is, society is not perfect either. You look out in the media and what's going on. I mean, there's a lot of crazy, over the top, I can't believe shit that goes on too. So it's like the fingers being pointed. When you have one finger pointing back, how many fingers are pointing at you? I have 3 fingers pointing at me. So when we point the finger, we need to be the one to say, am I perfect? No, I'm not perfect. So the next man, give him a break. Give him a chance to own and live up in their truth. Because what people do is they simply transform into what other people want them to believe and what they'll accept. And to me, that's a form of lying to oneself. Like, you'll never come into your moment of truth of the person that you're supposed to be, of who you really are, until you really own your truth. For instance, like financially, a lot of people lie about how much money they have, and they don't even have as much money as they say that they have. Not everybody, but a lot of them do. Those are the Decepticons. Those are the perpetrators that try to impress other people. What is you impressing people for that don't care about you? What is you trying to prove? You need to prove it to yourself. You don't need to prove anything to anybody else, but you need to prove it to yourself. Social status. You know, you're trying to be something more important than what you really are when you meet someone that you don't even know. Because you're feeling some kind of way about yourself because you haven't accomplished some of the things that maybe the next man has accomplished. So now you're feeling out of place. Well, if you would own up to that truth and know your position and stop putting so much pressure on yourself, it wouldn't be so hard. That's where depression follows in too, I feel. I've been depressed before. And depression, I mean, and I know it's a touchy subject, and I want to say this maybe third off, that I'm not trying to tell people what to do, but people are going to do what they want to do, and they're going to be who they're going to be. But at the end of the day, kind of consider some of these things, because if you're consistently having the same repetition of fuck up going on and on and on and on, you might want to stop and say, what am I doing? Because you're the problem of all your problems, and you might want to make some changes. For instance, depression, I feel, because I've been depressed before, is I'm not getting my way. That's simple as that. Things aren't going my way. I didn't get the job that I wanted. My life's not working out the way I want it to work out. I just can't get that zest for life. My kids are acting up. I don't have no money. I'm feeling just bad about myself. The people don't like me. I don't fit in. It's just too much I and your discomfort. You need to let a lot of that shit go. Learn how to go with the flow and let it go. Learn how to change the things that are within your control, but then learn how to accept the things that you can't control. Because life is life, and people don't really realize what life is. Life doesn't say have a good life or have a bad life. Life is fluid, and it's just like a heartbeat, up and down, and it just moves, and you just move with the flow. And then once you stop resisting, because once you resist something, a situation gets worse. But once you just let go and kind of go with the flow, you smooth out that thing so quick. You don't even, you look back, you say, oh my God, I skated out of that for real? Because you let go and your focus wasn't on the things that don't really matter, like who don't like you, like who said this and who said that. A lot of you are afraid to speak up your truth because of what someone else is going to think, but who cares what other people think, because they have a thought too that you don't even care what they think. You know what I mean? Like, as long as like we're respectful, like I said, we are able to have different thoughts, different opinions. That's what makes us us. But once we start to accept the things that we can't control and just allow the process to be, because a lot of us don't want to go through a process. The process is too hard. You know, the in-between part, we just want to go from straight here to here. But there's a process in between that we need to learn, that builds character, that makes us who we are, is the process of how we handle things. Because everyone goes through the same things. Everyone has the same doubts. Everyone has the same thoughts, you know, at different levels, different times, or whatever the case may be. But That's what makes us us. So once you start to kind of take a deep breath and not take everything so seriously and to heart at life, you'll start to actually transform. You'll transform into the being that you were supposed to be. Not that just who you're told to be, but who you're supposed to be. And you're no longer being deceiving as a Decepticon. I love that. I love that. So you got to acknowledge your weakness and faults before you can be your own truth and start living in your own truth. Because otherwise, you're going to be living a lie until the day that you die. And we're here to do better and to be better. And when you live your truth, you're doing better, you're living better, and you're being better. And it's always, sometimes, for instance, I don't know, you might be a little liar. You know what I mean? Or a thief. And everybody know you steal all the time. Well, own up to it and work on that. Work on that. That's an issue, you know what I mean? That's not something that's to be bragged about or wanting, you know what I mean? Stealing from some that doesn't belong to you. Why can't you get your own? That's dumb. Lying. What do you need to lie for? Because you're embarrassed of what somebody else might think, or you got yourself into some trouble and you don't want to get caught. You need to own your truth. You did that wrong. You need to pay the cost and pay the time. Okay? So people just need to regroup themselves. They need to accept their truths. Stop living behind the image of someone else. Stop being embarrassed and ashamed, because that's why a lot of people are afraid to live in their truth, is they're embarrassed and they're ashamed of who they really are. You may have to not like who you are in order to get to like who you are. You know what I mean? Once we acknowledge that there's things that about us we don't like and we're not happy with it, then we'll be able to grow and move from that. But only if we want to grow and move for that. Otherwise, we'll be dogs chasing our tails. So I'm not going to hold this long. I'm going to end this with accept your truth and bitches, stay focused. That's the number one thing. Stay focused.